Hello and welcome to the Empire of the Cops Substack. Today we're joined by Milo McCabe, aka Troy Hawke, showing off your scouts.
Fucking day.
So we won't mention which football teams you support or whatever. We'll just talk about one man in particular, Jan Molby. And if I could just ask you the first question of why Jan?
So it was the first I was telling you about. I just started doing these, just showing up at places, right? I was gigging in Macclesfield, and I rang this filmmaker guy who. Oh, this is a fucking. I'm going off at tangents. Like, stop me. So I had a charity boxing match at MV, in Liverpool, and I got sparked out. Like, it was fine. It was great. But they put, they said, "Do you want an exhibition?" I said, "No. Put me in with the fucking." And he sparked me out.
What a shock!
But it was great. It was just a great experience.
Yeah.
But there was a guy who got in touch and said, "Can I come and film your thing?" And I went, "Yeah, cool." And he filmed it and everything. And then I was gigging in Macclesfield, and I just rang this guy and I was like, "Do you want to come and?" I know it sounds weird, but I'm just going to stand outside these shops, and you're going to hide, and you're just going to film me. They went, "All right." I said, "Just hold the camera like that. Just do that." We went to this TK Maxx, and like it was the first one I ever did. And it all came out. This woman came out and she said, What are you from? I said, "I'm from the Greeters Guild." She went in to check. She's like, she had like a headset, face mask. It wasn't long after lockdown. She came back. She's like, who sent you? And I went, "I've been sent by head office," right? She went back in to check again. She came out. She went, "Who sent you from head office?" And it's so random. I went to a new school in 1988, right? We moved, and I went to this new school. And everyone was into football. And at the time, Liverpool were dominating everything, right? And I don't know much about football, as I've told you on this podcast.
We were talking
but they were top of the tree. They were the best team in the world at that point, I'd say. And it was Mark Lawrence and Ian Rush. I'm sure a couple of the other names will come to me. But Yan Molby. So everyone was talking about these footballers. And obviously when you're a kid and you don't have the internet and you hear a name like Yan Molby, which was different to any other name I'd ever heard in my life. So I was like 10 or something, and his name just got stuck in my head. I was just like, Yan Molby. I looked at a picture of him and he looked different to everybody else. Because, like Ian Rush looks like he's been twisted out of pipe cleaners, and Adam's apple, and they're all like, like skinny. Back then they were skinny as, weren't they? They were like greyhounds. And then you got Yan, like, his chunk. And I'm like, he looks different and he's got a funny name. And it just stuck in my head. She came out and she goes, "Who sent you?" And fuck knows where it came from. Well, no, we do know where it comes from. It's some weird thing that got stuck in my head. I just went, "Yan Molby," right? And she went in to check that. And she presumably typed his name into Google, and that picture of him there's a picture of him in the shorts, dead tight shorts. You know what I mean? She's seen that and she's gone, "Fucking hell!" And she's come back with like 4 security guards, right? Wigged me out of there. And then that went in, and that became that was my boss then. That was it, right? That'll do. That's the guy that hires me. And of course that's the Milo McCabe answer for why it's Jan Molby. For Troy Hawke, I have backworked the logic, as you've seen.
Yeah.
Like, in a way that still computes.
Yeah, well, that's what, because I was a bit worried, because obviously I'd planned all these questions, and then you were kind of answering them, but I wasn't sure, as you said, is this you, or is this like the theatrical version of it? But
so Troy's...
Was it B&M and B&Q and stuff? I was going to talk about that.
Yeah, so Troy's reason for Yan Molby being his boss is that Yan Molby and Troy Hawke are worth the same in Scrabble, which they are. And also Jan's style of playing, according to Troy, despite the fact that Troy isn't a football fan, when Jan was on the pitch, he made everyone around him shine and flourish, and he was firing the passes everywhere, and he never left the centre circle. And it wasn't because he was lazy. It was because he wanted everyone else to play as well as they possibly could. And Troy wanted to take Jan's playing ethos and take it to the social world and make everyone shine. That's
it works. Yeah.
That's the backstory. Yeah. It does. It works.
So when you walk out of that TK Maxx that day, when you and your mate who's recording in a bush, I'm guessing, have you both gone like, yeah, Molby, that's the bit there, that's
no.
Take, or did you just forget about it? Off,
didn't have a no. Just film it. I didn't even know if it would work or if it'd be funny or if it'd just be weird. Like I had no idea. Like we did like those ones, and then it sort of did all right. It was starting to pick up, and then I did one at B&Q in Warrington, and that one went mental. That because I was blessed with this manager who was, soon as she saw me out there, right, it was like, you ever seen somebody who's starving before they're about to eat like a massive meal, or if you've got a wreckhead mate who's just about to do a line of coke or something, you know, that's slightly like, oh. And she was getting like that because she was like, I'm gonna fucking take this one's head off this fucking knob and right. She was practically like, you know, rolling her wrists like Wanderlei Silva, like fucking. Just she really wanted to take someone apart, and it was perfect because she sort of lost herself in this fury. Like, I'm just trying to raise everybody's spirits. We don't want that. I'm just trying to cheer everyone up. We don't want that. Welcome to B&Q. Hope you find everything you need. No, we don't want. Oh my God. And I came out, like, I got booted away, and I said to the guy, tell me you got that. And he was crying, and he went, I got it. And we put it online. It went crazy. And then it was really funny because B&Q have never acknowledged the existence of that video. And I think at one point they employed somebody full time to delete every single on their timeline. And it's really silly because they should have just written some funny tweet like B&M did, and then it's all good and they look cool. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, and obviously that all led to Yan Molby soon trending and all that. So
yeah. Oh no, that one was Waitrose.
Sorry, yeah. Well, I was going to say, so it led on to that. Sorry, but so when was the first time? I know you mentioned your tour. I don't want to talk about too much. I don't want to spoil anything. But when was like the first time that you spoke to Yan about it? Like maybe as Milo rather than as Troy, and just like kind of said, I'm not taking the mick out of you type thing. Is it? Or...
Yeah. So the Waitrose one, put that out there, and it was as it happened in the show is basically B&M had been really funny with me, right? And Waitrose came out, and as you say, they were like, oh, we've never heard of Yan Molby, but you can come and work at our shop. And it really pissed me off because it's like, don't try and come over the top of this when you booted me out with 6 security guards. And it's gone nuts because of how ridiculous it was when I'm just out there being nice to people. Like, don't try and just, it genuinely pissed me off. And I was like, right, like I said in the show, you've got to apologize to Yan. You have to apologize to Yan, and they didn't. Like in the show, they didn't. And I was like, started to sort of, you know, put my foot down a bit. We got #Justice for Yan, and they didn't. And then it started trending globally, right? And that's how we found out, as I say in the show, is true. Someone told his mum that #Justice for Yan was trending, and she thought he was in prison right, for a crime I was saying he didn't commit. And she rang him up and goes, what's going on? Because I don't know, Mum. You know, and I read a quote in the paper. He goes, I haven't got a clue what's going on, but as long as nobody's getting hurt, I don't mind. Right. And it sort of kept going, and it made the news. It was in a couple of national newspapers. And then I'd not met him, and then this company called Murals they got in touch with me, and they said, we want to do a Yan Molby memorial, incorporating some of the things you've been saying at Anfield. Like, you happy to? I'm like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah. And so they did this mural, which is on one of these
Sybil Road.
Yeah. And they got me to sign it, and they brought Yan over. So we sort of came face to face. The
first time you met?
Yeah, it's on video. You've seen the video. Yeah. We met face to face, and he's just great. He's so down to earth, and he was so lovely. And he was sort of coming up, he was sort of kind of sussing me out, like still, you know, when someone moves up close to you, sort of like he still didn't quite get where I was coming from, what it was about. Do you know, still
get that though? Yeah. You're scared you're like taking the mick out of
exactly, which I'm not. Yeah. I'm so not. But if I'm not taking the mick, what is it? It doesn't make sense. Well, do you know what I mean? So I get it. I get it. But I've sort of managed to accidentally pick one of the most genuinely lovely and down-to-earth sort of Scouse football legends there is. I mean, I don't know many, but I can't see many people being more sort of, and he's really funny as well. He started chatting and he told me about his mom, like panicking, like, Jan, what's going on and everything. And then he got me to do his charity gig in December. And I've gone out there basically talking about him for about 20 minutes. And I see John Barnes out there laughing his head off, and I'm slagging off Ian Rush and Ronnie Moran and whatever. And it was just incredible. Yeah. And he's been so good. I did another charity gig for him the other day, and then last night at the show.
This is the Philharmonic on your
The Philharmonic, show. Yeah. So I do this thing at the end where I do a Q&A. And someone always says, what would Jan Molby do? And it took about 10 minutes. It was a very rowdy crowd last night. It took about 10 minutes. I was waiting. Finally, somebody said, what would Jan Molby do? And I said, what would Jan Molby do? Ask him yourself. And everyone went, fuck off. Right? And then he came out and the place went berserk. Absolutely berserk. Because I'd just done the bit. I sort of interrupted myself. But when Waitrose wouldn't apologise, I kept going, and I did a global petition, right, which started to get an alarming number of signatures. And then John Lewis, who are Waitrose's parent company, basically stepped in, and they had an emergency boardroom meeting because it was starting to go out of control. And they've named the community room in John Lewis the Yan Molby room. So that's the Yan Molby room now.
Which is that? Where's that?
John Lewis,
in town,
Liverpool.
Liverpool 1,
Yeah. So they'd just seen all of this, obviously, and then he walks out onto the stage. There was so much love for him in the room because so many people remember back in the day, Jan was a player that people would knock on his door and ask for tickets, and he'd give them to them. He went into a school, right, early doors. He went into a school and goes, I don't mind you knocking, right, but just not before 11 a.m. All right, lads. Because he's literally in his dressing gown going out, and people don't forget that kind of behavior, and they don't forget that kind of kindness and consideration. Yeah. Like, he was telling a story last night where he'd just joined the club, and there was this big bustling pub, and I think he'd said it was actually Ronnie Moran said, like, he was brand new to the club, and Ronnie Moran said, right, there's a load of fans in there. Why don't you go in and introduce yourself?
That win them over.
And he did, and he went in and just started chatting to these fans, and we were sort of reflecting on the fact that you could. Can you imagine that now?
No chance with that.
Like, it's insane, isn't it? But
so you couldn't have picked a better man, really, is what you've said. And
no, I couldn't have accidentally picked a better person.
Well, and obviously he was a great footballer at the football side of it, but I don't think he'd have been up there with the likes of Ian Rush. You see Trent Alexander-Arnold and Jordan Henderson are also on that road. I don't think he ever would have had a mural if it wasn't for you. So what I'm asking is, as a man who doesn't have a big interest for football, how does it feel that your name is literally, it's not your picture, your name is up there with Liverpool icons at the ground?
Look, I mean, I may not be emotionally involved in football, but that means the world to me. That's incredible. And it took a while to sink in, I think. And people kept sort of sending me the pictures. And I was like, Christ, like that's like a little piece of footballing history. That's insane. Yeah. And the funny thing is out of my sort of comedians WhatsApp group, I'm the one person in the group that has the least interest in football, and everyone's just kind of like, oh,
jealous.
Like the one person who's sort of not. But no, you're right. It is when people send me that picture, I do. I sort of go, fucking hell, it's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, especially the thing I love about Liverpool is how passionate everything is. And that's the thing that when I came from Surrey, like people are so much more uptight. It's less passionate. Come here, everything's so sort of, I don't know, passionate. There's so much pride. And it's sort of lovely to be around that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, well, I think maybe that's the perfect way to end it on Jan. You know, he's an inspirational figure in your life, and I don't think you could have picked a better person, and it just makes the story so much better.
Yeah,
but all right, that's all great. Thanks very much again, Milo/Troy, for joining us and having a chat about Yan Molby. This has been the Empire of the Cop Substack. Nice one, thank you.
Substack.
Yeah, lots of C's and K's. Watch us on YouTube.
Gives us a Substack, lad.
Do you know what a Substack
You know,
is?
it's a Substack from the other night.
Have you got a Substack?
Have you got a Substack, lad?
Do you want to see ours?
You look like you've got a. You look like you got a Substack on. Can see your great trackies,
The
lad.
tables in here, don't worry. It's fine. No, it's fine. Empire the Cop Substack. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, all the rest, and we'll see you next time.
Boss.